Hello and welcome to the first DC Universe podcast. My name is Wesley and today I'm going to give you some news and updates on some things that happened this week in the DC Universe. First thing I want to talk about is the Funko pop figures. In the near future, Funko will be releasing pop figures modeled after the Batman animated series. If you don't already know, the Batman animated series was a hit show that ran from 1992 to 1995. Even though I was born in 95, I grew up on these reruns, and the show is probably the first series that I've ever been into as far as DC goes. The collectibles first wave will be Batman, Robin, Batgirl, Joker, and Harley Quinn. I've never really been into pop figures, but I always thought they were kind of cool, and I'm glad they're doing new things with the old animated series. They're also coming out with these virtual reality goggles that have like the bat symbol on them, and it's like they're going to put like little slides. I don't know if it's actually going to be like virtual reality. I'm not sure if you'll just download an app and slide your phone into it, but they are coming out with virtual reality like a little headset thing that will be based on the Batman animated series also. So that's kind of cool. But at the San Diego Comic-Con a month ago, the U.S. Postal Service announced that they'll be releasing Wonder Woman stamps for her 75th anniversary. They did the same thing with Batman, and I ended up buying those like the day they came out. I still have one set of them, and I use some to make my letters look way more cool because it works. The Wonder Woman stamps will have the original art for Wonder Woman, and she's gonna have like the hammer and everything like that. And then as it goes down the columns, they'll have like Silver Age, then Golden Age that we all know. So I thought that was kind of cool. People are actually pretty excited about this, even people who aren't DC fans. I think the hashtag Wonder Woman Forever was trending on Twitter when they announced this, so I thought that's kind of cool. Those should be coming out soon, and I'm definitely going to get those. Another thing, Super Sons, the Rebirth comic that many DC fans have been waiting for, and me, was pushed back several months, sadly. DC hasn't really given a reason for it yet, but they did get a new writer added to the team. They didn't like fire a writer or anything. They just hired a new writer. I'm not sure what his name is. I probably should have wrote that down. But yeah. So if you don't know, Super Sons is a story based on Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne, and you can get a little sneak peek of Jonathan in Superman's Rebirth storyline, which is really awesome, and probably 80% of the reason I really liked the Superman Rebirth was because Damian was because of Jonathan's storyline. I don't know, it's kind of a cool storyline, something that we didn't really see with Superman. So Super Sons will be released in February of 2017 along with the second wave of Rebirth comics, and I can't wait for that because there'll be really a bunch of new DC titles will be released, and I'm hoping for like Captain Marvel, and I don't know. I'm hoping they'll do another Sinestro. I don't know how successful that was, but Sinestro is my favorite villain, and I loved the New 52's Sinestro storyline. So hopefully that ends up happening. But the next thing I think a lot of people probably already know was another Comic-Con announcement, but I just wanted to give my opinion. William Shatner was casted to play the voice of Two-Face in the new Batman animated movie, and I think that sounds fucking awful, but I really do love everything that DC and Warner Brothers have been doing with the animated movies recently. You can't really argue with their casting when they have Justice League vs. Teen Titans, Son of Batman, Batman vs. Robin, Flashpoint Paradox, Throne of Atlantis, all those movies to back them up. Those are honestly some of the best animated movies I've ever seen from DC. It's such an improvement on their old animated stuff that I used to watch when I was a kid. Maybe it's because it's kind of aimed more towards teens and adults instead of, kind of dumbing it down a little bit for children. But the last thing that I want to talk about, or last topic that I've written down, is the Justice League versus the Suicide Squad miniseries. I think it's a six comic book miniseries that will be coming out pretty soon. I think it's a really cool concept and I can't wait to read it, but part of me is a little nervous that they're specifically writing this story to eventually make it into a movie with the Justice League coming out and Suicide Squad 2 shortly after the Justice League coming out. It kind of makes me think that they're just like releasing a comic to make into a movie, which could either be really cool or really crappy. But besides that, I think it's pretty awesome. The cover was released at Comic-Con, and it's the League fighting the Suicide Squad on it. Thought it was pretty awesome. My favorite part about it, though, is Aquaman is fighting Killer Croc. Something about that made me even more excited about it. Like, I can't wait to see what direction they take it, and I can't wait to see Aquaman fight Killer Croc. I hope that's just not a cover that they're... I hope they're just not putting that on the cover, and that's actually going to happen, because I think that's a really cool concept. But yeah, so I actually just thought about it for a second, and like 50% of me wants them to do another Hal Jordan, 40% of me wants them to do a Jon Stewart, but for the cinematic universe. But I'm starting to think that they're gonna do a Jessica Cruz or a Simon Baz or both of them as the Green Lanterns in the cinematic universe, because there's no announcements on it whatsoever. I still think that they're waiting until they get the CGI down perfect for Green Lantern, because they don't want another flop like the last movie. I just think it'd be kind of cool, because the DC cover, it's Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz now. They are the Green Lanterns in the Justice League comics. Hal Jordan is off in the universe doing his own thing. I actually am behind on Hal Jordan. So, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to see new Green Lanterns, like Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz. That Green Lantern story is like some of my favorite stuff that's come from Rebirth. Even my girlfriend likes it, and she is not into comic books. So I think it's just like something easily relatable with her having such bad anxiety. And I really like Simon's character. I mean, he carries a gun because he, doesn't really believe that ring will always be there for him. And if he needs a gun, I just like the concept of the new Green Lantern story. But I don't know. I think a lot of people would be pissed if it was them in the cinematic universe. I know a lot of people are pissed about the Flash's costume. I think it looks stupid on Ezra Miller. That's my opinion, though. I think CW did such a better job creating a modern costume or costumes for these characters. Just like, except for the Atom. The Atom's pretty awful. But they did such a good job making something that could be so corny look really awesome. And I feel like the cinematic universe is trying to make the Flash so modern and stuff like that, and it's just it doesn't need to be modernized. It's just something that they should have put him in a tight costume. I realize he's not the most buff dude in the world, so I really think that's why they're doing it. But I think he looks corny in that Flash suit. Hopefully it'll look cool when he's running. He's a good actor, so they might make it work. Batman, this is all old news, but I'm kind of just trying to think of some stuff off the top here. They released Batman's assault suit, I think they called it, which I thought was really cool. It kind of looks like something from Arkham Knight, which I love. Like, the art in that game, it's amazing. So I thought it was really cool seeing Ben Affleck in that suit, other than the fact that his eyes sort of looked like he was Owlman, and that's kind of weird. But I'm hoping that those aren't like permanent. I think those might just be like some sort of goggles that he put on to like see better or something. He's rich. He has gadgets and shit. Also old news, but they confirmed that Deathstroke is the villain in the movie, in the Batman movie. And I'm super excited. The movie is officially called The Batman, and I think it's going to be really cool. I think that one of the best things to come out of Batman v Superman which a lot of people disliked for some reason. I love that movie, but I understand why people didn't like it. But the best thing to come out of that movie was Batman's backstory and him realizing after Superman died that he doesn't want to be the killer that he became. And, he lost a Robin. So I'm not sure how they're going to do it, considering, Batman has already lost Robin. That means Dick Grayson is already Nightwing. I don't know. There's so much stuff that they kind of skipped over that I'm wondering how they're going to come back around with Batman's story. He's so much older than the other characters. Like, it's just weird to me. Like, Flash was actually, I'm pretty sure Flash, Barry Allen, was one of the older superheroes in the Justice League. Like, when they started the Flash's comic, he was like 30-something years old, which is weird. Batman was young. Wonder Woman doesn't age. Superman doesn't age after a certain point. So it just kind of makes me wonder what they're going to do with Batman. And they can really play with that because Wonder Woman doesn't age and Batman doesn't age. And they started with Ezra Miller looking so young. They can use Batman, but he's going to get older. So it just makes me wonder how they're going to go about Batman. But anyways, back to Deathstroke. His costume is amazing. I think that's something that's where the cinematic universe totally outdid the CW show, which seems to be hard for them to do for some reason. But it looks awesome. It kind of reminds me of Arkham, like the video game. So, like I said, I'm kind of a fanboy, and it looks so much better. I think it looks more comic booky. It makes me super excited for the Batman. But I'm going to stop talking there. I realize it's kind of a short podcast, but I'm alone. I'm not good at talking to myself. So, I don't know. If you like this, like it on SoundCloud or subscribe and like it on YouTube. But if you made it this far, thank you for listening. And I will see you guys next time on the DC Universe Podcast.